Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka.
It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Baka. We are an anime podcast where every 2 weeks we come together to discuss an anime we've recently watched as if we were a book club, and then we turn that conversation over to you, our comment section, wherever you may be found. For we are just three Bakas, and we need your help to properly discuss the animes we watch because we don't really know what we're talking about. But we do. Like, people like listening to us. If you're new, we have listeners.
Don't turn us off right away.
Yeah, like, give us a chance. Maybe, like, go to the middle of the podcast, see what it sounds like.
Oh, well, if you do, spoiler warning.
Thank you. See how on top of our game we are. We're here.
Probably would have already done it.
We're here, if you don't already know, to talk about the second season of Dandadan. And to do that, I need the help of my co-host. So, with his, you guys want to do hot takes? You want something new?
You didn't come prepared?
No, I have multiple choice. What you guys are feeling?
I don't believe you, but
Reenact an anime moment from the
All
show.
right. After your introduction, you're gonna say, if you were a 90s movie, what 90s movie would you be?
Oh no.
They didn't think I was prepared. I was prepared. We'll just do hot takes. Just hot takes.
no, I've got my movie.
Yeah. Think for a second. When did you start?
You're first. I need you. Your editor is getting very frustrated right now.
I will pick.
I have to introduce you first.
Oh, sorry.
He's the evil to my eye. It's Jeremy.
Maybe Hellraiser, because I would enjoy like making puzzles.
We should probably let
That's
that one
90s, right?
sit. Let's let that stew.
It's technically an 80s movie, but there are Hellraisers that were made in the 90s, and I'm sure you can be fine. We also have. Can you guess which character name I'm gonna pick?
The turbo to my granny.
No, you're not getting off that easy. He's the peenie to my weenie. It's Jason.
It's classic. Matrix.
That was mine.
Well, get wrecked.
Movie that you would be? I guess I could see that. You're very
It-
digital.
Not just that. It's an anime. All right, let's be honest.
Oh, that's true.
My name is Troy, and my 90s movie would be Existence with Jude Law. It's better than The Matrix. No one saw it.
Actually, 13th Floor would be my second pick.
No, you can't have 13th Floor.
Why not?
You can't have Matrix and 13th Floor.
I said
Fine.
secondary pick.
I get Dark City.
Well,
Fine.
I want 13th Warrior then.
There we go. We all got two. Happy. Dark City was a good movie.
What about Last Samurai? Was that 90s? That was cool.
I think that's early 2000s.
Wait, I do want 13th Warrior. That movie rocks.
It was a great movie.
I saw a review recently, and they were like, "It's not that good," and I'm like, "Whatever."
Wrong.
All right, cinephile. We're here for anime.
Oh, are we? I apologize to anyone who didn't grow up in the 90s watching a lot of movies. Yeah, we're talking about Dandadan. This is Jeremy's pick, so he is going to give us a non-spoiler review to start us off. And don't worry, spoilers are later, but just giving you our initial thoughts. Jeremy, what did you think of Dandadan? What is technically season 2, but plays off like its second core of the first season?
Oh, really? It is supposed to be treated like a season 2, huh?
Netflix calls it season 2. My anime list calls it season 2, but it's episodes numbers are 13 through 24.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have seen like season 2s and of other shows be like 30, 20, 25 through 30 something.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah. Well, either way, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It definitely had the same strength and energy and comedy as the first season. I had a lot of laughter, probably maybe even more laughter. I think I laughed more in the second season slash core. I really liked the new characters uh, that got both fleshed out and also introduced. Um, the monsters were pretty cool too. Obviously, there's going to be monsters. They're great. And I like that they had recurring characters that just show back up for, important moments.
And they're
That's really
important, yeah.
cool. Yeah. Um, it's beautiful. Sounds great. I really can't praise it enough. Really good. I highly recommend it. Watch the first half because if you don't, you're probably going to stop in the middle and go watch it and then finish because it's totally worth it.
All right, Jason?
It's all right. If you miss it, I wouldn't fret too much.
No.
Okay, so to be clear, mainly being adversarial just to get under these guys' skin. However, it wasn't my favorite anime. I don't like how fluid they go from serious to funny to serious to funny because it takes away from both for me. And I don't they end up doing something serious, but then they don't make a serious commitment or a serious decision because it's funnier if something else happens. And like I said, it just kind of took away from the story beats for me. Animation's gorgeous. Music's great. And the amount of references aren't on there. It starts borderline on member berries for me, so I didn't really enjoy that much. But yeah, it was kind of middle of the road for me.
Just getting ahead of that curveball before anyone can hit it.
Is member berries also a member berry now?
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. That the second season just reminded me how much I liked this anime. I'm on the complete opposite side of Jason. I think this is doing a genre mashup better than I've ever seen before because both the silly and the serious moments hit for me. The romantic scenes are romantic, the sad scenes are sad. The funny scenes are extremely funny. It's doing gag anime, horror, comedy, action, shown in action all together at the same time. I could definitely say like, hey, like the aliens in it aren't as scary looking as they could be. They're mostly played off for gags, where the spirits come off way more creepy by design. So that might be feeling there. If I had any negative thing to say about this, and this isn't my complaint, but I could see this being someone's complaint. This moves at a today's generation's pace, a TikToker video pace. Like it is not bothering to wait or let things rest. It is moving 100 miles an hour. I remember the first episode, and they were off to the races with the plot. Where most anime would take 3 episodes to get where the first episode got. This still moves at a very fast clip. I don't find it like too fast, but I could definitely see if you like. I like Free Run because of its slowness. I don't know, Jory didn't. This is like on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like we have places to get to. We're going to cram everything we can into this. It is everything in the kitchen sink. I think they pull it off. I could see some people being put off by that. And I do see how like if one of the genres they're mashing up aren't your genre, when it switches to that moment, like, hey, teenage romance, those moments will be off-putting of like, hey, can we get back to the action or the comedy bits that I was enjoying so much? I think they all work for me. I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to genre stuff. yeah, teenage romance is probably low on my priority list, but it's fine. You were a teenager with romance ones too. Again, we are old men and not a target audience. I'm giving this review for anyone, but I was probably seeing an older audience having a harder time connecting with this. Like really old men might not like it as much as say me and Jeremy.
Hold on. I think there's some wild accusations being slung around here.
Yeah, but I love the references. I think they hit all their notes. I don't want most anime to try to do this. I don't think most anime can do this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I had like a whole metaphor, but it doesn't matter. I think my point came across.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I'll put it behind the paywall. If I ever get around to building a paywall.
That's right.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
All right. It's everyone's favorite part of the show. Tanya's take. Wait for the music.
Yeah, where's Jason's music?
Come on, Jimmy.
Okay, now it really does feel like we're in Doug. She absolutely loved it. We got about halfway through it, and then I had to go back to work that day, and she had the time off, and binged the entire first core that day just to get caught up.
Your reference to you'll go back if you're okay.
Yep. And after that, she came back and absolutely loved it. Definitely saw themes in it. Since we're not in spoiler territory yet, I won't mention any of them, but she saw themes, and they were very much in harmony with the themes you saw in the first core, Troy. And loved every minute of it. Really ate it up. Really enjoyed the characters once more.
All right. Your guys' thoughts on the opening and closing.
I forgot to mention, she also said that this fixes 3 of the bad anime we recently watched.
Well, she did like my anime last week, so.
Which one? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, the
That's
Empire, the Galactic
Last
Empire.
week? Oh yeah, okay. I'm pulling behind the curtain. Someone's computer broke up the day before we were supposed to record this, and so it's been a week at least for all of us from when we last watched an episode of Down to Done. So if our memory is fuzzy or worse than usual, it's his computer's fault.
100%. And actually, I'm going to blame my computer on opening and closing because I'm having a tough time remembering it beyond the music because the music was great. The visuals I do remember liking. However, the ending is a blank, and I apologize. I should have watched it again before the show. But
yes, some would say you should prepare for the podcast you put out on a regular basis that people listen to.
When was the last time I forgot to do this? Can't I have a little bit of grace? My computer died
3 weeks ago. Every single anime.
What are you talking about? I give a great review of OP and ED every episode, except this one.
Leviathan.
Who liked Leviathan? I did watch those. Actually, I remember it ends with the like 2 faces at each other. I did not like that anime.
Go check that episode out.
All right, who's reviewing? Okay, so that was your review of opening closing.
That was mine.
Okay. I loved it. I got a kick out of both. They have the same energy that they had in the first season, I thought. Very good energy. Great showcasing of the characters. I was super curious about who the new character was that was being introduced at the end with the flashlight. I was like, is this actually going to be a character? Because he looks like a background character. So it really had me going. I liked it a lot. Both of them.
There's a bit in the anime about a background character that I can't remember perfectly now. It doesn't matter. Opening closing.
We just did that.
I have a lot to say about the opening and closing. The opening's pretty good.
All right, spoiler time.
because the music's good. It's not as good as Odinoke by Creepy Nuts. The original, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that one is better.
That OP, not only is it a great catchy song, but it's a perfect epitome of genre mashup, right? It's weird at the start, then it goes into rap, and then you get some more lyrical music, and then it's soft singing, then it's back to the rap, and it's genre mashing just like the anime does. So that literally it's not gonna be beat. But this OP,
She kind of tried to do that though.
yeah,
She
it's
did
still it
something
is in here.
similar.
Yeah, she does a little
Yeah.
rap. There is a little bit of
Mhm.
mixing mashing. It's just Creepy Nuts.
It's hard to beat their quality. They're just
nailed
really
it,
good.
yeah. But I like the song. The visuals are amazing. The way the world is black and white, except for when he's looking at Momo, or when he grabs Momo's hand and suddenly color explodes all over the screen. The way it gets kinetic at the end with the running down the tunnel towards the light.
Mhm.
Some super cool visuals in that opening. The closing for me is one of the best closings I've seen in a while. And I made a list of anime where the closing was better than the opening because it doesn't happen hardly ever for me. There was like 8 anime I came up with, and this was so good. It's got a unique art style. It's a little bit Fooly Cooly. It's a little bit Scott Pilgrim. The camera's spinning. The characters are dancing. The music's very much like the pillows from Fooly Cooly, the Ride on Shooting Star. It gives me that same energy, except for there's a little bit of like electronic work in it. It's on the playlist. It is so good. Jin has a Uzumaki on his shirt, a spiral, and I'm wondering if that's a reference to Naruto's Uzumaki seal to keep the evil spirit inside of him sealed away.
I like that.
I don't know. I haven't been able to find. There's references I saw that I cannot find anyone talking about it or confirming. I saw references and not just making up crazy stuff in my head.
Better
The
not be
dance is cool.
spiral power.
And the fact
Yeah.
that the camera is spinning, and then we learn that it's Momo using her powers to spin the camera. It's got some good stuff, but you might get motion sick if you're a motion sick kind of person. So it does spin a lot. Great closing. Nothing but gushing there. All right, our next anime, because we're about to go to spoiler section. We're not yet, because I gotta tell you the next anime. To Be Hero X, the first 12 episodes. This is a very different anime. It's an anime about a world where people's feelings and thoughts create heroes, and they compete to be the number one hero. But the story is very where there's multiple stories in it. What's that
Is it
called?
more of an anthology?
Yes, kind of. Like every arc is its own, has a new main character of that arc, right, in the same
cool.
world. Kind of gives me or from what I read, the trailer is beautiful, but it doesn't tell you anything about what's going on other than, hey, we use CG and hand drawn and we go back and forth. Very anthological. I kind of got a Paranoia Agent storytelling style, not genre style, from it. So we're gonna check that out. We'll see how that hits.
It looks good. We'll see how it does.
See. All right, we're going to the spoiler section, and we're hitting the ground running because this is literally in the middle of a story. So if you have not heard episode 1 or seen episode 1, this might be really confusing because like we're literally starting in hot springs with a girl completely undressed, having creepy men approaching her.
Yep. Assault.
Right. That was one of the things you're talking about. Like, is it season 2 or is it core 2? Because most of the time when you get a season 2 of an anime, you're starting somewhere just off kilter, or like a arc has completed and you're starting anew.
Mm-hmm.
This is like directly 12 into 13 as if it was the same episode. So
yeah, I very much get a core 2 vibe from this instead of a season 2 vibe, but you know,
yeah, I would say the final episode of this core actually does a better job of ending, even though it still is kind of got this weird abruptness to it. It does a better job of ending.
But yeah, but it's definitely a closing, and hey, we'll see you next time, and we'll pick up here instead
not
of
a cliffhanger.
in the middle. Yeah, not
right.
a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just gonna start with, hey, she gets away from these creepy men because the hot springs blows up, and so I don't have to address that now. Okay, we're past that. This is the
Moving
character.
on.
How much of that was Turbo Granny, and how much of that was just the hot spring blowing up at this time?
Both 50-50. Like it's the
50,
luck
okay.
of Turbo Granny, and it's on the
Mhm.
verge of blowing because of the events that are happening in the village.
The reason I was thinking about it too is because when we got introduced to Turbo Granny and we learned her background about how she's a spirit that like would watch over and comfort the
Protect
dead spirits of girls that
protect young
were
girls. Yep.
yeah, molested and murdered. This was the perfect opportunity for her to step in and stop the very thing that she would comfort the dead over. So I actually thought it was kind of cool that she was involved, even though she sort of denied it and was
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah, no, why would I help you?" I thought that was a nice way to kind of tie back into her character that they're still developing.
Who we'll talk about in a minute. But first, Momo. Your guys' thoughts on Momo?
Uh, I don't know if Momo had much of an arc this core. Like, she's just Momo at this point. And also like she's definitely growing more and more fond of Okaroon, but um she doesn't seem to develop her powers much beyond what, like, because in the first half, like she, or well, the first season, she does like training, and she's also, you know, learning how to master her chi and like her special powers. This one, it just seems to be a character trait. So besides that, she's a great character. She's spunky, she's a little hot-headed sometimes, but she seems to be um kind of the, you know, she's definitely the core of the group.
Mhm. I always get a kick out of this kind of character. She's energetic, obnoxious, funny. I enjoy her. But I was thinking about like her relationship with Okaroon is probably, you're right, it's probably the biggest change. There's also something about I don't know if it's her relationship with Ira, but it's I don't know. Something seems like it's a little different. I thought they improved their relationship a
Arya.
little or something. Aria? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, otherwise I agree. I don't see anything spectacular that happened.
I would just say again, look at this as a second core. It's more of the landing of the arc from the first half of,
Hmm.
hey, I don't want
Mm.
anything to do with this spirituality of my grandma and this temple, and now she's accepting assignments and all invested in this and connecting with Okaroon, making new friends, not embarrassed by him anymore, really just kind of accepting this life that she now has. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's not a change. It's more just an affirmation of that change has happened.
That makes sense.
Is what I saw.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But yeah, I also agree with your guys. The spunky, hot-headed punk girl who's really fun to watch fall in love with a guy who's clearly much more comfortable pushing this relationship forward, and he's one of those me types who has to be dragged because of low confidence and
Well, it
the
was
way
really
she handles
funny,
it.
like you say, the way she handles is great. It was really funny how there's one scene where it starts to do a flashback of him not, going for it. And I was like, wow, is he doing that again? Like I genuinely thought
Oh
he might
yeah,
be doing that again.
it did not give us flashback warning. It was just
No.
yeah. I remember that scene and being like, oh, I hope everyone realizes this is flashback.
Yeah.
But yeah, great character. Might as well talk about Turbo Granny. She's here in the scene as well. Our little cat mascot who was an evil lady who eat boys' testicles. Don't worry
Yep.
about it.
And
It's
donks.
fine. She
Yeah.
dunks too, and she just missed his dong.
That was literally her opening line was, I'll
Yeah.
let
I
you
want to
do
eat
something
you.
if I can eat your
Yeah,
dong.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's a filthy old lady, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um she's definitely more of a words of wisdom kind of character in this second half with evil intention and underhandedness. And I love it because she's still sore about not only losing her powers, but like now these kids have trapped her in a doll, and she literally has to depend on the people that defeated her. And so she's but she's also, you can see through the multiple interactions, each interaction she gets a softer and softer heart towards them, which I found interesting for like a spirit, if you will, especially an evil spirit. So yeah, and then she's got some really great words of wisdom, and then also like, oh, by the way, we're gonna go to training that I'm not going to tell you about. Oh, this training could probably kill you. You better fight.
I'm always looking for ways to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was great.
She always cracks me up, especially when she's belittling and yelling at them for failing things, like when she got stuck in the in the worm spit. Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, we never get a scene of her like internally thinking, "Oh, they went out of their way to save me. I guess I care about these people now." But like you said, there's moments of choices she's making where clearly she's starting to get attached. The one I think, yeah, she takes him. Yeah, it's dangerous training, but she did take him for training, and then climbing on his back for the fight after that. And the way
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, I'm part of this. We're you know." Again, she'll never say that out loud. She's a crass, horrible old lady, and her respect with Granny also just kind of makes them a great pair. Yeah, Turbo Granny is great. More Turbo Granny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, we get away from all those creepy men. Who are they men? I mean, they clearly weren't men, right?
Correct.
We all do that.
Well, we get confirmation later, but
Who are
Yeah.
chased away by the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know why that made me laugh. We're the Chamber of Commerce. Get them. Back at the house, we have Okaroon and Gigi, or Ken and Jin, if you want their real names. So let's start with Okaroon. Your guys' thoughts on him for this season, whatever.
His fight scenes are great. I think he's got a bit more character development where he's becoming a bit more confident. He irritated the absolute crap out of me in the romantic scenes. And not because...
Hold on, sorry.
Okay.
I rolled so hard it hurt. Oh, I gotta do it again.
Not because it was the new love butterflies that, you know, I'm more interested in the, you know, stable, you know, longer lasting relationships. It's there is overt scenes of acceptance between both of them that they like what's happening, and then he, like 2 scenes later, he's like, "Oh, I don't know if she likes me." It's I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's dumb.
I will say one of the comments Tanya had was that she thought they were younger then we actually looked at the numbers. It's like 16, 17. She was like, "No, I thought they were like 14." Based on the behavior.
Right.
Yeah. So I did think that was interesting. That didn't bother me that much. I get it, but at the same time, I just kind of really enjoyed watching his character for the transformations. Like, I don't know, for him, I wasn't actually as interested in the character development as the cool fight scenes. I don't know if that says anything about the character, because I was for some of the other characters. I was more interested in like the story around them and what was happening with their personal development and things they were learning. But for him, it was, I don't know, I wanted to see how is he going to beat Evil Eye this time. Is okay, it's the same, but still it was interesting. I don't know.
There was a whole development of him. You know, he pushes Gigi away to, you know, focus on Momo. And it was in that moment that he had made this like internal decision that I'm going to become stronger. I'm going to be able to like do this thing. And it forced an arc up until robot time, which we'll get to, where he grew a lot as a character. But then again, this is what I was talking about, problems with the choices. Like near that time, he he kind of reverts back to some of his like mousier personality traits, and it's like, you're doing that for the laugh, you're not doing that for what this character should be going through, in my opinion. But
Seems
I don't
very
agree.
much like.
I don't agree with
Go ahead.
either of you. I don't agree
Fine.
with either of you
Fine.
at all. I
Jeremy,
wanted to
continue.
touch on it when we got there, though. Yeah, Jeremy, do you have more?
Oh, I was just thinking that the reason why he was behaving differently during that scene versus later ones is probably because it's one of those things where you man up and you be possessive in a moment, but as soon as you feel like there's no threat anymore, your guard comes back down, and that's when you get stupid again. That's just
I can
I've
see
seen
that.
it. Yeah.
Okarune's handling of the relationship is extremely pathetic, and also the most realistic thing I've ever seen. I know I overshare sometimes, so I'm gonna overshare again. I will learn no lessons and move forward.
Nope.
My high school girlfriend, now my wife, we were friends, watched a movie party, held hands under a pillow where no one could see. Ended up, it was very cute, very very similar to what kind of happened in the car scene there. I went home that night and still convinced myself it didn't. She didn't like me.
Right.
It's not real. I'm over reading into things. I can't move forward with that. It was still weeks, maybe even months. I don't. I have time plans. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It wasn't until the I only started dating her because it was the last day of school, and I was like, I'm not going to see her again all summer if there's not a reason for her to start seeing me. So then I took that step forward. I was literally last moment, do it or die. And yeah, I did that, man. I held hands and was like, yeah, she probably doesn't like me though. That's probably just friendship holding hands.
Yeah,
it
that's
is pathetic
But it
a-
happened.
and
I wouldn't
immature, but it's
I wouldn't-
real. It
I
is
wouldn't
so
use
real.
yeah, I wouldn't use the word pathetic, but like, that's just so far from reality for me. I know it was for you, but like, I have a hard time empathizing with it, I guess, especially in a media format.
Now, as a man has been married a long time, and looking back and like, oh man, you gotta recognize what's happening before you lose it. I can definitely, and I can see that frustration, especially because I'm not a big fan of let's spin wheels on this relationship and not move it forward too fast so that we can keep drawing out that drama.
Mm.
I do prefer a long-term committed relationship and seeing and building to that. That is more interesting to me. I agree with you there, but everything he does matches the character they have created.
Okay.
His lack of self-confidence, while I agree, is extremely frustrating. I think the fans, I won't tell you guys what's happening currently in manga, only because I had been spoiled for it, but it is huge, spinning the wheels.
Oh no.
Fun.
Yeah. So, but here I liked it again. Also brought back memories. I like the character. I like seeing those growths. I want to see him grow. His lack of growth, and please stand up for yourself. Please, you can do this, man. Can be frustrating, but it is cool when he takes those steps forward. When he makes those decisions. My favorite thing is when he clap backs at Momo. When she says something to him, and he's like, "No, you're the one who's stupid." And then realizes like, "Oh God, I've overstepped," and shrinks back, but he's in there, and watching the events of the series bring him out is entertaining to me to watch. So I like the character. He can be rough at times though. And then yeah, we got Gigi.
GG was GG. I think he was an okay character.
Sometimes he wasn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
And actually, that was a little frustrating for me near the end because we got more of the other character than we did of him, and it was like, I don't know, having two in one and splitting the screen time between them made me care less about both.
Hmm. It kind of worked the opposite on me. I kind of was more interested in how maybe that's why my attention was drawn more towards the GG and Evil Eye scenario, because Gigi was clearly having to reevaluate, like, oh, I want to be like the perfect guy that I said I'll be there forever for you, evil spirit, so don't exercise him. You know, even though that's going to potentially kill the people that are his friends, essentially almost like family now, taking care of him. And I know, I agree. Like
oh
there's
no, human
absolutely no
empathy, the
excuse.
worst.
Yeah. Well, like not with an evil spirit that's trying to
I was about
kill
to say,
everybody.
not for
Like
the dead. I have no empathy for the
yeah,
dead.
yeah. Like, and so like I totally get it. And I personally, like, I agree. But seeing him try to figure out, how do which is more important? Do I hold on to these values or do I let them go? I was wondering, is that going to bitter him? Is he going to become more like a villainous character if he has to let Evil Eye die? Or is he going to find, like, is he going to keep a piece of shard of him? It didn't go that direction, but that's what I was thinking, because I thought maybe they're going to flip Gigi that way. Um, so yeah, I thought it was interesting. I always get a kick out of how he winds up, because Evil Eye always like rips all of his clothes off, and so anytime it goes back to GG, he's just standing there in his underwear. I always
Or
get a
less.
kick out of that, or
Right,
less.
right. Uh,
So yeah, he's great.
okay, I said an absolute statement without any clarification or caveats. Uh, when I said I have no empathy for the dead, I meant the dead that have are now undead or are now doing evil things.
Trying to kill the living. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yep.
Hmm. We are going to talk about Evil Eye when he shows up. Just for reference, it's on the show notes. You can see it right under Gigi's name. I like what they do with Gigi in this, especially when Gigi showed up in the first half. I was like, I'm not sure. Like, he's funny, he's silly. How does he fit? Um, I like that they put a problem on him, just like they did with Turbo Granny and Okaroon in the first half, and aren't just like, okay, snap, it's gone. It's okay, this is a problem we have to constantly now deal with. Whereas, Turbo Granny, eventually they got to a point where it's mostly settled. And I think we're going that way with Evil Eye, but again, it's not instantaneous. Evil Eye is a problem. Even though we've beaten him, we still have to deal with the problem he presents. They did the exact same thing with Turbo Granny, and I like their approach to these spirits are evil, but they became that way for a reason, and they're not as evil as they initially appear. We'll talk about Evil Eye later. GG, his empathy, what I love most about it is that they present it as the naive approach. No one is, a lot of the characters are supporting him, but there are characters who are calling out this is a child's way of seeing the world. And the character who ends up indulging it points out, like, yeah, but I don't want to ruin that child view of the world if we can help it. And then the other character is like, we can't help it, we have to take care of this. I know you don't agree with the action. I love that he again, he is naive and he sees a young child who is a victim and only sees the victim despite the danger it presents. And then the show acknowledges it and isn't like, no, this is 100% right. It's like, no, this is dangerous. Everyone could die. We need to do something about that. And only because of Okaroon making a certain choice are they able to tolerate it for now. They have Hayashi on speed dial. um, I like the way they did it. It wasn't just 100% black and white. He's right. It's very much he's naive, but there's value in that. I like that. Quit staring me down. I could see your eyes burning through the screen.
I just vehemently disagree, but we will get there.
All right. Bunch of old ladies who are also ashenly gray, like the men at the hot springs, show up at Gigi's house. Again, they are investigating because his parents tried to commit suicide, and
They are the
things are.
landlords.
Yeah, and the landlords show up. They are the Keto family, the men and the women, and the men show up later. And they're like, "Yeah, we keep Gigi around." I don't know what the voice is in the sub,
That was
but
pretty
the English
close.
dub. The English
For
dub,
sub.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mama Keto has that tone.
As
Amazing
if she's been
character.
smoking for the past 50
Yes.
years.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And they start harassing him. They even point a gun at Gigi at one point. They're like, "Hey, we wouldn't want this to go off." And
It's a shotgun too.
he's like, "Well,
It's
what if a
this
cop
massive
walked in?" And a
shotgun.
cop does walk in, but the cop's
Right,
on their
man.
payroll. Very mafia, but again, they have like yellow eyes. They're very weird looking. I thought for sure like these got to be aliens, but they're not quite that.
I thought they were spirits. I thought they were possessed.
Oh, you thought. Okay. All right.
At this point, yeah.
Then we go back to Momo. She's going to the temple. Is looking for. There's a word for it, and it's way too long for me to remember.
Tetsugurami or something.
Yeah, which I'm still not 100% sure what that is because I don't remember what was happening. But she goes to the shrine, and the priest there is this weird guy who sometimes dresses like Bruce Lee, reference, who's trying to become a boob tuber with random things. I'm gonna become the standing on his head boob tuber. I'm gonna become the sleeps in a sleeping bag boob tuber at one point. That was his thing. Doesn't matter. And he tells the story of how this village used to sacrifice children to the volcano because of the fire serpent in it. I think a fire serpent, right? A
Yeah.
Yeah,
serpent.
the volcano would explode if they didn't
Right.
get sacrificed.
And he's
to
like,
the
"Hey, well,
snake.
we don't do that anymore." She's like, "Well, that wasn't much help other than a cool backstory." So she goes back to the house and the boys have now been beaten up and tied up by the Keto family and undressed. So she gets in a fight with this Keto family using her powers. Pretty cool fight, especially even though they're all kind of like tubby and rectangular. Mama Keto's Jennifer Lopez Anaconda, because she uses snake style. They do it twice, and it made me laugh both times.
Yep.
Momo gets hit into that cursed room, and is this where we find out what it's for? Yeah, they say this house is built on the sacrifice place. They've been sacrificing people this entire time. They didn't stop, even though the village stopped. The Keto family kept it up because they believe that that's what has to be done to save the village. And they this is where that horrible room from last time, that's what it's for. Momo starts sinking into quicksand. The boys try to save her, and everyone ends up falling into the pit. The Keto family, the boys, the Momo, Turbo Granny, everyone goes into the hole, where they find just a maze pit of houses, of all the houses that the Keto family have built, sacrificed someone, and then built a new house on top, and just a mountain of houses. And there's a giant Mongolian death worm, is what it really is.
It looks like it should be like pooping out spice. Like it looks like a dude. But
Dude,
but an eye instead of a mouth.
sometimes
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes it's a mouth. Sometimes it's a mouth shaped like an eye. And little tentacles on its face.
Alleged to exist in the Gobi Desert. Huh.
It's a cryptoid, like Bigfoot
Yeah.
or Loch Ness monster. That's what Ogaroon's like. Oh, this isn't a fire serpent. Remember the magazine I was reading at the beginning of this arc, but like last season?
Yeah.
It was in there. The Keto family are like praying to it, and it eats them. They go and hide, but then it starts sending out telepathic waves. Momo and Okaroon, who's transforming into his Turbo Granny form, are trying to kill themselves. So Gigi's trying to save them while the worm's attacking. Things are getting crazy. They're running around. Great action scene of like
Yeah.
diving through houses. Um, and then they get confronted by the worm, and this other spirit shows up. And the reason he doesn't, the worm doesn't affect Gigi is because this other spirit has attached to him that also causes people to commit suicide, and they're canceling each other out. This is Evil Eye, who's going to become the real main villain of this arc and be a problem for a while. So let's talk about Evil Eye. I can't wait to hear about how you feel about this. Jeremy. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm happy to let Jeremy go first.
I love Evil Eye. I thought he was hysterical. When he first showed up, the combat with him was just gorgeous. His technique of using the dead spirits as a soccer ball. I mean, not only is it visually amazing, but it is also just like, I don't know, it's stunningly weird and odd. But it also fits Gigi perfectly
It's
because he
Gigi, a
likes
known
soccer.
athletic soccer player, has a soccer poster on his wall, and it's a
Yeah.
reference to soccer animes. Except for
Okay.
Blue
Oh,
Lock.
okay.
I didn't see
I
any
was about
Blue
to
Lock
say,
in there,
is
Yeah.
this a blue
Well,
lock thing?
but I think
kind of a
there's
purple. block.
Captain Tsubasa. I think there's some shit. The movie Shaolin Soccer's in it too. Some shots.
Okay. Yeah, and it was great. So like obviously the fight scenes are amazing with this character. I love the conundrum that they wind up in when they have to try and solve, keeping him around because Gigi doesn't want to be a villain in his own mind. And how his his emotions and the way that he handles like one of my favorite scenes is when they're trying to exercise him and they remove a mask that's hiding his face and so you see him for a moment and he's just like absolutely pissed off and all he says is this is wasting time. This is a waste of time. And they put the mask back on. Like his personality is so entertaining every time he shows up, especially in the beginning. And then the the hot and cold is great. When you do find out that he's actually still just the little kid that's well, kind of an amalgam of two little kids, maybe more, but definitely two. Um, it starts to make sense why this character is very childish and has a simple objective of eliminating the things that caused him pain and having fun playing, doing the things that he never got to do. Those two things are all that really drive him. And as soon as
I
they get a
want to
handle on
do
it,
a murder.
yeah, exactly. And so it's yeah, I got a kick out of this character. I also love that he was like looking through Gigi's eyes, and so when there were opportunities for him to lash out, he did. There was no pause where people would have time to have much of a reaction to him waking up, right? And yeah, I loved the whole scenario and the character.
He was entertaining. I do feel for the terrible ordeal that those kids went through. I think it's terrible. I think what turned me against the character, or at least I didn't like, was grandma saying, you know what, we're not going to exercise. I'm like, why are you not being the parent here? Why are you not being the authority? You are a seasoned medium and you understand how dangerous this thing is. Just because my 5-year-old found a grenade and started calling it Teddy doesn't mean I'm not going to take the thing away from him. This thing wants to murder everyone around it very seriously and very dangerously. And the idea that the spirit feels bad. That's nice. This thing nearly kills Momo multiple times, but like in a very serious fashion, like just completely traps both of them, has her at his whim, and it's just a stroke of luck that she was able to do her little trick with the water. I did not like that they decided that they were gonna like keep this thing around for kicks and giggles.
Well, to be fair, in that was the scene where the grandma was then being like, I don't I'm not gonna stop you when the other guy was gonna go and get the band and forcibly exercise him. She wasn't going to resist anymore. It's a pity that she wasn't the one saying, "Yeah, let's do it," and agreeing with him.
Right. Um, yeah, because she got burned. Momo got nearly murdered. And I think, so taking a step back, was he funny? Yeah. When he came out, especially after he had been quelled by Okaroon, and he wasn't bursting clothes off anymore. Like he's just all of a sudden he sees a soccer game and he just goes to town. That was pretty funny. Basically a child experiencing all these things for the first time, but in
When he, like,
a
freezes time.
super powered body.
When
That was
he gets
pretty.
mad because she's telling him to use silverware or to use chopsticks, so he freezes time so he can shove food in his mouth with his hand.
Yeah. But also, like, because Gigi's sharing this body with him, when he was around for multiple episodes at a time, Gigi's just gone. Like he did. There's no more time with him. So I wasn't a big fan of that either. But so I have mixed feelings on this character. How about that?
I would argue that as much as I like Gigi, he is best in smaller doses because when he does his full on that grinds fast. And so they'd be like, "Oh, he's doing his thing," and then he switch to Evil Eye. I'm like, "Oh, you're back. Cool. You're funnier." I like Gigi. I especially like the real Gigi, but when he is being his silly Billy self, he's a little bit rough on my old man senses. I'm gonna talk about the character.
Okay.
I love the character. He's hilarious. He gives me even more immature Vegeta just starting to become a good guy. I'm not going to kill all these people, but I also hate all of you, so I'm gonna rage nonstop, and then taking it to like, yeah, it's max, so it's level 11. Okay, but this time he's literally like a 4-year-old. He's just wow. He's great. He's probably my favorite character of this arc. He's not the best of all, down to down, but like in this thing, I laughed the most. I had the most enjoyment of Evil Eye. His scene in the final battle, top 10, so good. The elephant in the room, the hey, my child found a hand grenade and called it Teddy. There is a scene coming very shortly. It's in this arc where, with the powers of Turbo Granny, with the help of a haunted statue and an alien that also tried to kill Momo when it fused into a Loch Ness alien monster. His name is Peeny Weenie. They all show up and help and are able to save the day because of that. This series has so far constantly said, what if we use empathy and kindness, not talk no jutsu, but just literally putting up with these horrible people and not murdering them, and they're stronger for it. They're able to defeat Evil Eye because of all of these times they've forgiven and befriended what has been enemies in the past. It's not that different with Evil Eye. Yeah, right now he's a hand grenade, but clearly Granny believes that Gigi can handle him. They have a way of handling him. And again, they call out, this isn't working. This is too naive. We can't do this. And then they find a way to make it work at the last second. Yep, it's something that works for me. In real life, it's insane. If my kids are like, "Hey, we brought home an evil spirit that wants to murder us all, and as long as we stay around cold water, we'll be okay." I'm with you, Jason. This is not what a parent should do. In an anime about fighting aliens and ghosts, and again, it's building off the theme that it's been building so far. That the fight against Evil Eye, the final fight against Evil Eye, seeing everyone show up that they have befriended from all the past adventures, spoiler for that scene, gave me a rush of like, oh, that wasn't just random, hey, look, a random mannequin and random alien that we beat. It paid off, and because of the choices they made. and that was really, really cool. And I'm really excited for them doing the same thing with Evil Eye, which they clearly will. Evil Eye is definitely not going to be a villain this entire time and will become part of the team. He is their Vegeta.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. However, there's just so many caveats to all the other characters you mentioned that it's not. The escalation has gone too high, in my opinion, and that's why it didn't feel good. So, like for instance, Mannequin never was a threat. He just ran real fast. Peeny Weenie, he not only is he not a spirit for one, so he could be killed, but two, it was under duress. Like he was a good person at heart. He just had no other options.
And he still tried to kill them though, and they still forgave him.
Sure, but when he was beaten, it was over. Like he gave up, and he was like, "Hey, here's my sob story." Evil Eye gets beaten the first time, and he's like, "I'm coming back, and I'm murdering all you." I just like it was the escalation. It's like, okay, but now we're gonna make this guy our friend, and like,
I mean,
Turbo
Granny,
Turbo Granny, they beat her into the ground. They ripped her power from her. She is no longer a threat. Evil Eye is continually being a threat.
She does still want to kill them, or at least claims she still wants to kill them.
Sure, but she has no means to effectuate that, right?
At the moment, which is what they're trying to do to Evil Eye, is contain him in a way he doesn't have. That's what they're trying to achieve. But I agree, it is a huge escalation, and I can see like, okay, no, I've reached my threshold. We're over that. I just, again, I see it as the continuation of the theme that they're building on. So
I don't like the theme.
And I'm an empathy guy, especially in my storytelling. I understand life is not this realistic, but in my storytelling, I prefer empathy over harshness.
No empathy for poor Nessie, though.
I know, right?
Or that weird sumo guy from season 1.
And I'm sure they're going to kill lots of bad guys going forward. I'm sure not every bad guy is going to become a best friend.
Well, I think Kaiju Monster is going to get lots of empathy.
All right. I think we've said our piece about Evil Eye. I'm sure it won't come up again at any point.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, basically, Evil Eye presents his backstory to Gigi while they're running away from the worm. Now that they've broken free of the spell of the worm, and Gigi's like, "Oh, this child it was the first sacrifice, was locked up, only ever saw other children playing, always wanted to play, got sacrificed, came back as a spirit, and just spent all his time trying to play with children, and parents kept committing suicide," which I don't think was him. I think it was the worm in all those instances. But eventually he grew spiteful because the Keto
I think
family...
it was him.
No, I was pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that because the spirit gets the power too. Like it's called out that the spirit has
he is a suicide causing spirit. Yes.
Yeah.
So you think it's just like not intentionally, but just because he was in the room?
Okay. Yeah, it was like an aura coming out of him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's good up until he gets to a kid that is also sacrificed by the Keto family. I do wonder if they're ever going to explain to him it wasn't humans. I mean, it definitely was humans at the beginning, but it was mostly the Subterraneans that he has a problem with. That is his real enemy.
Wait a minute though, because the Subterraneans, she's the same person that's been doing it for 200 years,
right? But the whole village was in on it for the first sacrifice at least, and for the beginning. See, it wasn't just the Keto family sacrificing. All the village was like, yeah, we got to do this. And eventually the village stopped and the Keto family kept going.
I think that the Keto family was encouraging the village. The village fell into step initially and then fell out of it. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure she was the driving force the entire time.
100% agree. I'm just saying humans aren't completely blameless. They can't like be completely not involved.
Yeah. They didn't stop it instantly. Yeah.
Right.
A quick update, sidebar that. Anyways, I don't know if you saw my flights flicker a couple times. We've been storming out pretty bad. If I drop off the call, it's because I've lost power. I apologize. Hopefully it won't happen. Continue.
Okay. Just a update from us. If Jason leaves the call, that is him admitting that I was right about Evil Eye in all aspects. Just throwing that out there. We got to move forward. Okay, next part of the story.
You know what's great? The video's on my side.
But the editing is on mine.
What you'll be able to edit what I give you.
So you're gonna go back and edit, really?
Don't worry about
Sure.
it.
Alright. Um, yeah, they're in the that all happened. They go down to the very bottom, the very first house, which is the storage house they put Evil Eye in, and they find Evil Eye's body. Gigi's like, "Hey, I'll be your best friend. I'll play with you forever." And all this time, Turbo Granny's like, "That's an evil spirit. Don't talk to it. Don't trust it." And Gigi's like, "No, it's just like a little kid. I gotta help it." And she's like, "Nope, nope, no, nope. That's just
Yeah,
don't
she was
trust
right.
that."
She was 100% right.
And as soon as Gigi's like, "I'll be your best friend," Evil Eye's like, "You said it. Contract locked. My body." And we get Gigi Evil Eye, who is pretty cool looking. Got a big purple eye in the middle of his forehead. His earrings get super long. His clothes all come off, so he's only in his underwear. And then he takes all the anger of the spirits around him and turns it into a soccer ball for him to kick around as an attack.
I do like how they use an eye instead of the typical Oni horn. They even have his hair like curled up as if there was a horn, but it's just for the eye.
I didn't even notice it. That's cool. Also, the worm keeps attacking. Now it's got electricity attacks, and it starts spitting out sticky goop. Evil Eye attacks it, but it also attacks Momo. It's clearly just like rampaging and he talking about how he wants to erase the human race. But Okaroon shows up to stop him in a really cool, like in his form, because he had jumped at the worm earlier, and he shows up and does like a soccer kick where their kick lines up, but they're both on the soccer ball of evil spirits. Very cool shot.
And he loses because he doesn't have the power to match.
Yep. Then Okaroon runs away with Momo, and they launch her back up to the house so she can escape and get help. And she's trying to make her rope, and she hangs it down. It's only like 1/8 of the way down. So she sets a house on fire to bring the authorities so that they can fill up the house with water. But meanwhile, the two yokai now are battling. So it's Okaroon's Turbo Granny powers versus Evil Eye. Evil Eye is clearly more powerful than him, but Okaroon does a really cool. You did 3 things, bro. You hurt my friends. You did this, and you pissed me off. And then he punches Evil Eye 200 times. And I didn't realize this at first. I didn't realize this till later. Do you remember his training from season 1? How he trained?
Push-ups, right?
He did squats. His attack is just squats. He's just doing the squat with the hands up.
God,
He does
you're
200
right.
squats into Evil Eye. And I was like, I've never seen squats done as an attack. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I wish I had seen that myself. I had it pointed out for me, but man, that's cool.
That is cool.
Because he doesn't know how to fight. He just knows how to do squats and beats Evil Eye for the time being. He's dragging Gigi's body away back to the surface, and he hears Turbo Granny, who's still stuck in the goop in the bottom. So Okaroon goes down there because he's all out of his powers, because he's gone goes all out twice. And he's getting on Turbo Granny. She's like, "Don't fall in," and then he falls in. So they're both stuck in the bottom.
I do love that scene because he's just, no, it's fine. I'm gonna get you out. Then just like as soon as gets Turbo Granny out, he loses his balance, and then they both end up. Yeah, it's pretty great.
My only issue is that we see a shot of them later, and they are moving around in the goop. Later,
yeah.
and
Is it that sticky then?
Yeah, how they got out a little bit. Because they used the goop to save themselves, but how did they get out to do that at all? Doesn't matter. We go back up to Momo.
He was in his underwear. He'd stripped down. The goop was sticking to his clothes. He'd managed to take off enough of it. I bet that's how he did it.
Makes sense. It was in his underwear. Back to Momo. The water to put out the fire draws out the worm, and then she makes it get in the sun, which kills worms, and then it hides in the
Especially this
shade.
worm.
So she destroys the rest of the house, so there's no shade, and then it dies. And it spits out the Keto family, who is very upset. And then the volcano starts to erupt. And they're like, "Oh, you killed the worm. Now the volcano's
You
erupting."
take responsibility for this.
And she's like, "Actually, I think it was going to erupt anyway because the hot springs had a geyser. That's what the actual legend is trying to tell you." It never confirms who's right. It seems really good. I kept going back and forth.
Coincidental,
Is it a coincidence, or was it all this happening because the volcano is getting ready to erupt, and so that brought the worm to the surface? And I don't know.
It's hard to know too because it was supposed to eat Gigi and his parents, right? Presumably they were the feast that the landlords were preparing to feed him,
Right.
but it didn't get to eat either of them. So was it getting pissed down there and causing problems, drilling around, digging, mulling, like pacing? Yeah, it's hard to know.
But volcano's going off anyway. So Momo carries the death worm with her psychic powers and attaches it to the hot spring. And then what comes out is both its sticky goop and the hot spring water mixed together to make like a gel. And she uses it to fight the lava and the
A
fire,
fire retardant.
like a giant
Yeah.
fire retardant hose. And the Keto family's like, "That's our god. Stop it." But then Evil Eye shows up and he starts destroying the worm and attacking the Keto family because he clearly doesn't like them. And so they have to team up. This is our second Jennifer Lopez Anaconda attack, which is great.
This was such a cool team up fight too, because she gets her arm broken, the Keto family lady. But you also have that other guy that shows up from the
Yes.
shrine. And just the combo of how they're all fighting together, the technique, it's really, really good. The way they handled the choreography for this is fantastic. She's like constantly pulling people out of the way from being attacked.
Yeah, and Manjaro's the name of the young priest, and we find out he's a student of Granny. He's on their team, and he was supposed to know they were coming, but Granny wasn't specific about who was showing up, so he was busy with boobtuber stuff. But yeah, the fact that he's like a really good fighter, it is like doing kick slides, and it was awesome. But it's still not enough. They're still losing, and then a spaceship shows up, and who we find out his name is Peeny Weenie because the aliens all have ridiculous names in their own language. And his child Chiquita, who's driving the spaceship, who sings constantly, and which is great. Also, though, Granny comes down standing on the back of the. It's not a mannequin. It's a what are those called? Body. Model.
Toru.
Yeah, Toru,
Mhm.
who was the running anatomically correct school prop
Mhm.
for teaching biology. She's riding him, and he joins the fight. He gets destroyed by Evil Eye, but that was the plan. He has seals on the inside of him, and he forms over Evil Eye, and they contain him within Toro. And then the little baby alien drives the worm around with the spaceship and sings his song while he puts out the lava. And then the last scene is Momo realizing that Okaroon might have died because the lava fell into the pit, and she works with the aliens, and they pull out, and the gel had hardened, and she grabs it and she forces it open. There's 2 references in there. There's at least one. I might be wrong about the second. Look, she says it's not that hot at all, which is what the characters in Promare say, if you remember when we did that movie. And also, it looks like Evangelion forcing the pot open.
Jason, did we watch an anime called Promare?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go look. I don't think we did.
Yeah,
You want me to
I'm
sing
not
the
sure about
theme
that.
song? I can sing
Please
the theme
don't.
song.
Yeah,
Trails of fire, you
Ugh.
always know.
No, I definitely don't remember it.
Troy, edit that. And he's live, and he accidentally falls into a hug, and he's like, "Oh, sorry," and then she hugs him back. Aww.
Oh,
Let's talk about Granny. Granny Seiko. Thoughts?
She was fine.
I wonder where she went. Like, she disappeared at the very end of the anime, and it was after she said, "We owe them." I kind of wonder if she's going off to do something to recover funds or to fix a problem, or
They said
even if it has something to do with like feeling guilty about the evil eye scenario and how dangerous, like the level of danger she put Momo in. I don't know. Something feels off
they told
there.
they told us. They told us where she
Did they?
was. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Remember she does sage priestess stuff on television. She had to go to another territory to be on television.
Oh, that's
They said she was
right.
traveling for a TV show. Yeah.
Uh, okay.
Yeah, she has a
Yeah.
job and she was doing her job in another town.
Oh, well then that's boring. I
It's
wonder if
just
there's something that's gonna come out
convenient.
of that. Huh. I liked her. I thought she was fine. Obviously, she did make a really weird decision, but we've hashed through that.
Yep.
Other than that, she didn't play as huge a role in this one as she did in the last one.
Any thoughts on calling Gigi genius, which we took as a joke in the first thing, and then it being like, no, she was trying to tell you guys that he's really powerful. With
I
this.
like that. I like that a lot. Revealing that she actually meant it.
Yeah, it had deeper layers, and they should have paid attention.
Mhm. Yep.
I got mixed feelings because like he's the one of the kids that was making fun of the technique early on. Or
Yeah,
like
he was
when,
the
you know,
one. He was the
yeah.
one who made Momo quit.
Right.
But he didn't know what he was doing either.
Right.
Sure, but for him to just like all of a sudden be a prodigy of spiritual power, it's like okay, that feels convenient.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he always was.
Oh, obviously, right? That's because that's what was written. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
I did like that. Well, why didn't he have powers? People get powers at different times. Deal with it. Move on. Quit asking questions.
You just got your powers.
Yeah.
But
I also love
like
Turbo Granny giving exposition is always the best because she's just like,
Yes.
shut up, deal with it.
yeah, but like physically, how does Superman like in physics fly? Because like, you know, that doesn't quite.
Well, we all know that it's a factor of his strength because he leaps tall. Sorry, that's a Big Bang Theory thing.
Nah, he's telekinetic, guys.
Yeah,
Or
right.
telepathic. Wait.
No. Well, he is that sometimes too.
I think he manipulates his own density or gravity.
This is all an inside joke from one of our chats, and how there is
Only
it
Jason does inside jokes.
is it a producer or who was it that like said that
Comic book writer who complained about
okay.
people wanting the scientific explanations for little
That's
mundane
right.
details. Anyway, so they tried to exorcise Evil Eye. This is the scene Jeremy was talking about, where he keeps every time they open the mask, he's like, give it up, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So they decide they're going to go home and they're going to get a Hayashi band, which is musical performers for spiritual rites.
I love that none of them are spiritually aware. Like
Yeah.
none of
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. You
Does it
wait.
impact what it's coming? No.
1,000,000,000%. We're going to spend 20
Okay.
minutes talking about just that part.
I think I got it. Go, guys.
This is
Now we are.
I have waited 3 weeks to talk about the Hayashi band. You will not take this from me. It won't be 20 minutes, I promise. I
Okay.
promise. Don't skip 20 minutes ahead. Okay.
I need this.
During dinner, Gigi emerges back from this thing and they realize that with hot water and cold water, they can change him from Evil Eye. Gigi, hot water brings out Gigi and cold water brings out Evil Eye.
Ranma.
This is a reference to Ranma. Clearly just Ranma. And Gigi then stands up and sings the Ranma song.
He did?
Yeah, well, you know, he does a little song right after they say that when he's
Yeah.
it's the Ranma theme song.
That's what it was. Awesome.
He recognizes the reference and is like, "Oh, that's just like Ranma." And Gigi's just weird, so he sings the song instead of saying it. The theory is that hey, if the Evil Eye was burnt in a lava, so he doesn't like the hot, so he runs away from hot things since he was
That's
you know
the theory?
dumped in a volcano. But it's not actually explained, and it could just be a random reference.
That's interesting. I find it
Yeah,
I don't agree with it, but it's interesting.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They go to visit Gigi's parents in the hospital, and even though he's still encased in Taro, and this is the hand holding scene, which I really like because there's the Momo and Okarun's hand barely touch, and then she's like, no, put your hand back, and then she lightly starts touching it, and then she starts drawing. He's like, what are you doing? I don't know this game. What's going on? She's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What I liked most is the shot of Granny Seiko clearly sees it in the mirror and is clearly hip to what is happening. She's cool with it. Yeah, but we already went over how we feel about that scene. We find out the Keto family was arrested, except for Ma, who got away. And then we see her, and she's like degrading, and she pulls off her head, and she's a subterranean.
She was tantruming, is what I saw. I didn't see degrading.
Well, she was like cracking. She had like cracks in her skin.
Yeah.
Well, she was like beating herself into the trees and knocking
That
them
too.
over.
Yeah, that too.
I think that's what cracked it.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know the skin doesn't crack. Like,
Well, it does if you're not a human and you beat your face against a tree.
Okay, that's all I was pointing out. This is like, oh, okay, she's definitely not human.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, she vows revenge against Momo. Momo is her sworn enemy now. Still blames her. Then at school, Arya comes back into the story.
I completely forgot she was in this anime until this moment.
I'm kind of with you. It wasn't like, oh, that exists. I was like, oh yeah, she has been missing, hasn't she? Yeah, but she's back. She still got her powers. She still calls Momo horrible names, and they fight. Your guys' thoughts on her?
Yeah, she was very similar to the first core, except she's trying to like take a leadership role, but she's obviously terrible at it. She's also very overconfident with her skills and her powers, and that tends to get her in trouble. But I don't know. The love triangle thing's cute. I do like that she's whenever she dotes on Okarun, of course, is oblivious to it, but then Momo is just like, I'm gonna rip your face off, and but yeah, it was weird that she just kind of showed up halfway through, but then her it's as if she was always there, the way she's continually in the story from there on out. So yeah, I liked her addition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked her.
I
thought
wait.
added.
Sorry, it is Ira. It's not Arya.
Yeah,
So
AI.
if you wrote a comment, you can go back and delete that. I steered these guys wrong due to bad note taking. It's Ira. Sorry.
Ira. Yeah. I thought she was great. I did think that she was mainly there for Momo to play off of, both in combat and in relationship. But it was entertaining. It was a good character dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was entertaining. But I also thought there was a little bit of character development for her in that you could tell that she really did want to go to the sleepover. I don't know if that was entirely because she wanted to see Okarun or sleep over in the same place as Okarun, or if it was also just kind of being invited by them, by Momo. It was interesting too that they actually gave an entire sequence to her putting makeup on when she got up.
Jeremy nails it.
Yeah, that fake face that she's putting on to hide who she really is. And she says multiple times, I wish I could just show him who I really am. But then I also don't know, is who she really is the version of her that talks to Turbo Granny? I'm gonna kill you, or is the version that she really is something more amenable, you
Mhm.
know. So there's clearly something deeper there for her as a character. I'm interested to see where they go with it. But the anime is running a risk of leaning towards a harem with the way it concluded this season. Now that we have three.
I think it's more going for not the harem. I think it's going for that romantic anime. Constantly have to throw hurdles at the couple that they have to get past. Okay, his jealousy, her jealousy, his
Mhm.
misunderstanding, her misunderstanding, and yeah, I think it's just
It's
that.
exhausting.
I hope Ira and Gigi wind up together because that would be a good pair. Like they're both very surface and visual, I would say.
Yeah.
It just seems like it would work better than her and Okarun.
Jason, I kind of agree that it's exhausting, but also remind you in the top 10 anime of every week, there's like 5 romantic comedies, and that is literally what half of anime is now.
It's too bad. It's not.
Uh,
It's not my fault that
I
people don't
know.
have any taste.
Right. He says not liking one of the most popular anime of all time. You sit there in your corner and you listen to your vinyls and wear your flannel. You're the hippest hipster in the wall.
Hold on, I think I hear my phone on the wall ringing. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
um,
absolutely.
Ira, yeah, Jeremy, no, that makeup scene to me really stood out. She's a character who's never herself. She's never real. And in fact, when a real moment hits her, she's surprised by it. Like, oh, I meant that. I these are like my real emotions I'm feeling. She's just the biggest phony in the whole world, and it's always compensating. I'll be the leader. I should do this. Really pumped herself up. Has none of that self worth. Unlike Momo, who's always I'm myself. This I put myself out there, and if people don't like it, they can deal with it. Ira is like I will put out something that everyone will like, and they'll never have to deal with the real me. It's a dichotomy, and she works. I also but I do agree with Jason. It gets exhausting. Again, it's just we're moving forward. Can we just get there?
Right.
All right. And so they ask her and Okarun, well, Momo does, to stay the night and help with Gigi because they're going to. Taro has been like, can I have my body back? So they have to keep cold things away from Gigi, cold liquids. So everyone's going to come live there and work on it together. And that night, a drop of soy sauce hits his skin and he turns into Evil Eye and he destroys the house.
That was such a great way to end the episode. I was laughing so hard.
The great was the fake out, like, oh, soy sauce, nah. Oh, soy sauce. Oh no, it was the other sauce, Worcestershire sauce, which is the second time 2 anime in a row that references Worcestershire and soy sauce being next to get together.
You're
Is that
right.
must be common?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of those terrible emotions.
Tasty.
This and that's 2 things this anime and that anime have in common. This and Rocket Punch.
Yes.
They have both.
Yes.
Crazy. Okay, so the house is destroyed. It's middle of the night, and so the Hayashi, these 4 rockers, clearly like 80s hair metal, walk up like they're the Scooby Doo gang, and they're like, "Go away," and they're like, "Okay, bye." And then they come back like, "Actually, we're the Hayashi band you ordered," and like, "Oh, okay." I'm gonna gush, guys. The gushing's gonna happen. Beat for beat, shot for shot, the anime animates the beginning of Back to the Future of the overpowering the amp. And not just animates the same exact sound effects. That's how I knew it. I was writing a note and I heard the click, 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 boo. And I'm like, that's Back to the Future. And I look up and there's the amp needle pumping just like Back to the Future. Every knob's the same. Pulls out the silver pick that Marty McFly that shines in the shot in the movie, shines in the anime. And then they start like twiddling their instruments, and it's like, oh, they suck, right? And Granny explains these guys have no powers; they cannot see the spirits, but their music makes it easier, so they're getting to do the exorcism. And then those first notes hit, and it's like, oh no, they're not like a bad band; they really rock. There's the moment of Momo and Okaroon, and the band's doing crowd work to these 5 people. Give me a yeah, and only those two, yeah, which is why they're perfect for each other. They're saying dorks, Arya's covering her ears. The priest guy is like, whatever, let's just do this. They're yelling, yeah. The music blast, faces melt, heavy metal starts thundering in. In the English dub, we have the lead singer of Dragon Force doing the vocals. The song's written by Megadeth, the guitars for Megadeth. It's referencing a Japanese hair metal band that is such a strong reference. The song got sued by them, and I think was removed from Spotify. And the song goes so hard, and then the kids are all headbanging, including Ira, because she covered her ears, but that's not who she really is. The real her came out. Let's all headbang. Granny headbanging during the exorcism. They're doing crowd work. You in the back, can you hear me? There's like 6 people there. The dead wake up. The spirits of the dead wake up and form a band, pull out their iPhones. It might be their faces. I don't know. They're doing devil horns. It might be like the best 5 minutes I've ever seen. It's so good. I was so pumped. I'm sure a musical intrude is not everyone's thing, but I'll give you guys your chance to talk about it.
Music was great. I really don't have any complaints about it. I thought the Back to the Future callback was okay. The
which is a movie you don't like. I want to call that out. He doesn't like that movie.
It's true.
One of the perfect movies of all time, but
why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? They didn't commit though, because nobody got like literally blown away from a huge speaker. I was a little disappointed at.
It would have been good if like a spirit did or something.
Right. No, it was a great callback. The music was absolute fire, and yeah, the scene was great. Even when I saw Granny even headbanging, I was like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, the Granny headbanging during the exorcism is what got me. Every single time that it cut back to her, I just started laughing. It was great, but for me, it was comedy. The music was nice, but it was just
it's funny because of the headbanging stuff. But then it switches again. What I think this anime does so well, then it switches to the scene that's controversial on this podcast. But I thought the music then switches to this intensity that's bringing to the scene as Gigi's crying out, "Don't kill the evil eye! Stop! Don't do this!" As he's thrashing and on the pillar,
and they're holding him down.
Right, it brings this intensity. So what was a joke and a great reference, now it's a serious scene, and it made the switch great. And it does it right on the guitar solo, so like the vocals go away and they can focus on Gigi's words. I just think, if nothing else, this is a 10 for 10 scene for me. It's everything I ever want, including Back to the Future references. All right, but we know the events. Granny cancels the exorcism, gives Gigi his wish. They decide they'll figure this out. And then we get everyone in the house working together. If you've ever had plumbing issues in your home where water's been off for a long time, where you have to get up with your kids and pour a bucket into the toilet or anything like that, man, that felt real. This scene of like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm coming with you. Don't make sure you do it this way. Let's refix this wall. That scene where they have to the cardboard's coming down. The house is gone. It's freezing cold, and they had to get the cardboard up. It was well portrayed, I thought. Not that I've had to add cardboard walls before. Just saying. Then we get the scene of Ira putting on her makeup. where everyone else is just going down in their pajamas, gunk in their eyes. She's perfect looking by the time she gets to the breakfast table, and feeding Okaroon extra food. And then Momo's like, I want extra food. Momo decides I need to get a job to help rebuild my home, and she gets a job, and then her friends drag Okaroon to that job where she's working at the maid cafe.
That's right. This was funny. Like she was so embarrassed and upset the whole time. I loved how like when he had left and the clock just starts ticking down and you see snapshots of her constantly.
It-
Oh,
okay,
so good.
this is now we're a full romantic comedy scene, right? There's no fighting, there's no horror, uh, um, but that scene, yeah, they do all the embarrassing stuff. Oh, be sweet. She's like, you jerk face, she calls him some names, and then he's like, hey, do you want me to stay and walk you home? And she's like, no, just go. I don't want you to stay. And then she keeps looking at the clock, and they play Chopin's Nocturne, which is a song that repeats itself over and over, but gets more complex as it goes. It's not just the shots of the clock; they put everything into us. In the manga, not having read it, but the Hayashi band scene that I just gushed about, it's 2 pages big. And clearly there's no music. This to me is why you do help me
Embellishing anime.
when you take it from one medium and move it to another. A book
Oh
to a
yeah.
movie. What is it called? Adaptation. This is why you do adaptations. Because you're like, I can build on what's there. What's there is great, but using a different medium, I can add onto it, not change, not reinterpret, add. 2-page Hayashi scene is a 5-minute banger of a metal song, and now here a shot of her waiting patiently and then adding a nocturne. That's not something you can do in a manga, and a reason why it exists to come to an anime form. Take notes, people who are doing this. This is why you do it. This is how you do it.
Well, I think it only works if the studio and whoever is behind the adaptation has enough respect and familiarity with the source material to understand its core and
Right.
how to portray all of those scenes. And I don't think that happens very often. I think a lot of times the studios just get the word that this is what we're making next.
And there's a high wire act though, right? Because I had to extend. Yeah, I made this scene awesome, but I also need to make that band scene go from 2 pages to for 10 minutes because I need to pace everything right to hit the kaiju fight right at the end of the season. So there's reason for it, but you put in the love and the care, and again, like you said, you understand okay what they wanted from that 2-page Hayashi scene and how I can build on it without changing it.
Yeah.
Usually people complain about adaptations, and I'm like, yeah, it's just the way adaptations are. You just have to accept it. But this is the golden standard. This should be what you're doing when you do an adaptation. All right. If I gushed enough, I could probably move on. Hey, he was outside waiting to walk her home anyway, which she wanted, and she held his hand the whole way home.
Now he was panting. Do you think that he left and then ran back
Yes.
right before? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he went home.
1000%.
But he doesn't know if she likes him.
He's gonna try though. Shoot your shot, kid.
No. They, hold the hands all the way home. But could just be
Well,
friendly.
that could mean anything. She could just be scared.
Right.
I do think he's like, hey, she doesn't. I think he knows she likes her. He likes her, but it is hard for him to accept or do anything about it. He just doesn't have the confidence of it.
Right.
I think it's more than just he's not as in denial as I was. I guess was what I'm trying to say.
I'm fine with like the first one, but then like the second one, it's like, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous, but
yeah. All right, Iris spills water on Gigi, who just got done with training of containing evil eye, but it doesn't work now because the water attacks Momo, and it's a very close call. They barely are able to. She had hot water in her mouth from the cold walk home. So she drank some of that hot water and was able to spit it on him and save herself. And Okaroon feels terrible because he wasn't able to do anything. He's furious. He's giving dirty looks to Gigi now, even though we find out later he's not mad at Gigi. He wants to help Gigi. So he goes to Peeny Weenie. He asks for training, and Peeny Weenie's like, "No, help me carry heavy stuff." And Jerry mentioned it. Oh, so it's Dragon Ball Z training. Do this
Yeah.
heavy stuff, and you'll be stronger. Nope, Peeny Weenie literally just using him to get his work done. Who now works on a milk farm because the cow they gave him can't produce milk on their planet full of water.
I love that in order to blend in, he draws eyes and then paints his face like, with skin tone.
That's a mask.
Yeah, he's got a mask on.
Is it a mask or is it painted on? Because it looks painted.
It's a really bad mask.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
because his head has to be a hat now.
Right.
It's a mask like the other.
So
alien.
even though his eyes are still sticking out of the top of his hat, I love this costume design. It's so great.
He's in the ED, and I didn't realize it was him until this moment because he's bending down and touching Chiquita in the hallway in one of the shots of the ED, but he's in the human disguise. Chiquita's not. Chiquita's always in alien form, but it wasn't until then I was like, oh, I really should have figured that out earlier because of the hat being the right shape of the crab head. Oh well. Yeah, and this is where the scene where Manjo's like, we can't do this. We need to call the Hayashi back. We need to do the exorcism. This is too dangerous. And so Okaroon then he's trying to get stronger. He's practicing punching, and this is when Turbo Granny comes out and is like, "Hey, what you doing?" He's like, "I want to fight better. You want to fight better? You want to be more powerful?" Well, both. It's not both. They're different things. So she's like, "I will train you to use my power." So they go to the high school in the middle of the night. Ira sees them and follows and comes along, argues with Turbo Granny a lot. Some very funny arguments. She really is just horrible to everyone but Okaroon.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to go faster on this scene. It's awesome though. Turbo Granny is like, it's all about tempo, and so she wakes up these spirits that are in the music room of classical composers. They're not really the spirits of them, but they're like the fears of students in their form.
The amalgamation of fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Beethoven and Mozart, Bach,
Chopin and Bach, and
not Chopin. Chopin's not there.
Chopin's not there.
Because I thought
A bunch
for
of
sure
others.
less
Yeah.
popular ones, at least in my opinion, for the other guys. They attack with notes. If you hit a note, you explode. They're also in a rice field for some reason. I think there's a pun in there. I didn't get it.
This felt really Madoka Magica to me.
It definitely has a Madoka Magica. I didn't get that till he said that. And I was like, oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You fight a monster, it takes you to its realm. Also, if you hit a rest, you're frozen.
Mm-hmm. Or
And
a sharp.
While they're
Mhm.
fighting, something it's a split second of animation. Something hits Okaroon, and he's like, "Oh my god, what happened to my voice?" And I'm like, "Wait!" And I went back and I paused it. Yeah, and he hits a sharp. You can barely see it. I had to freeze it to see it. That's
Yeah, I
a
rewound
really
it.
quick joke.
I rewound it 3 times just to see if I could spot it, and I didn't. Not. Yeah, you'd have to pause and look at the frame.
At the exact moment. And I'm like, that is a weirdly hidden joke.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah, so a lot happens in this fight. It takes on different forms. Sometimes the composers are working against each other, sometimes working together, depending on how Beethoven is feeling. Eventually, they start performing Ode to Joy, and there's giant singers singing a version of Ode to Joy that show up. I think they're a reference to something, but it also clearly becomes Attack on Titan because Ira's swinging through by her hair and attacking them. A giant crowd of people that they have to fight through, and they eventually
vomit them out.
Yeah, and then they do beat the composers with Okaroon going all out. But then Turbo Kitty accidentally hits the piano again. It's implied they had to do it all over again.
They were grinding out some XP.
After this, though, Okarun goes back to the home. He calls out Gigi. He's like, "Get out here, Gigi!" And he's like, "I'm going to fight the evil eye. I've been training for one night."
Yeah.
And
Didn't he already use up his? I couldn't figure out why he would choose to do this right now because he's already used up his turbo move.
He gets two of them.
two. He gets two.
Right, but I'm assuming that in the other fight he used the second one during the
No, they
second
knew how the
No.
fight goes, so they were able to do it without having to go out.
It would have been much easier in the second fight because they knew the.
That's how I took it.
We have to assume he can only
Does
use
he
it twice.
use it in
uses
the
it-
GG fight? I don't think
Yes.
Yes.
he does he?
Oh, 100%. And it's important.
Oh, okay. And I
Um,
guess he
it
must
kind
have
of comes
known.
back to something that was mentioned earlier when we talked about Okarun. So he calls out Evil Eye and he fights him and he goes all out. And then, he, of course, because he's used his second one, he transforms back into human. Evil Eye's like, "This fight is awesome. I'm having so much fun. Let's keep fighting." And he's like, "Wait, why are you human?" And he's like, "I'm not fighting you. You're too weak." "Oh, no, you have to keep fighting me." He's like, I'll only fight you once a week.
On Tuesdays?
You can't on Tuesdays, and you can't hurt anybody else ever until you beat me. And Evil Eye agrees, rips off his underwear to signify he agrees with the
They're a cursed item.
and they're a cursed item that the priest has to take to the shrine. This whole thing is a bluff by Okarun. Evil Eye is stronger than Okarun. Okarun can only be more powerful during an all out. He uses his last all out to overpower Evil Eye and then bluffs that the reason he's stopping is because I can't, or because you can't beat me. But the truth is, Evil Eye easily could. He can clearly survive all outs. You know, he gets overpowered, but just for that moment, and has survived it twice now. You guys had just mentioned, like, well, if he can do this, why is he's lying? He's faking mostly.
But I mean, during the training, he did learn that how to be better with his tempo, right? Because he was like 2 steps behind.
Right.
And now he's learning that Turbo Granny's power is actually more powerful than Evil Eye's. He just hasn't tapped into it yet.
Well, yeah, there's something that's got to be said about the fact that he doesn't know how to fight. If you watch him, he literally just flails. He runs, he crab runs. Like, he was never an athletic kid to begin
I love how
with.
he blocks punches with the bottom of his foot with a kick.
Yes.
That is pretty great.
So it's like somebody who has such a low ability to actually fight and no experience doing it. How powerful must Turbo Granny be for him to be this capable against somebody who's so much better?
Well, you think about it this way. Yes,
shocking.
Evil Eye is technically probably older than Turbo Granny, but Turbo Granny's had a lot more experience in spirit form as far as dealing with people, because she's been haunting that tunnel for who knows how long, and over and over and over again, while Evil Eye's been stuck at the bottom of this thing, only getting at someone every so often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think
is older.
Turbo Granny, like, if you looked at, like, stat wise, she would fall under weaker than Evil Eye, but her speed would be way above his,
off the
and that's
charts.
where her advantage would come in. But yeah, it works. You know, he's a little kid who just wants to play, and they set ground rules, and he follows them mostly. So everyone decides to go home. Problem is solved for now. Manjaro goes back to his temple with the underwear. Gigi goes back with his parents. And then the ladies go and have a spa day. Momo and Granny and Turbo Granny, they all go to the spa. And then they're like, "Oh, that's actually last of our money. We are screwed when we get back to our no house." But hey, guess what? Okarun shows back up. He's got a plan. He talked to Peeny Weenie, and Peeny Weenie has a friend who's definitely not Steve from Minecraft in an alien skin.
Oh my god, I love this guy.
And I love that
this
he's
guy.
the first one they see when they come back from the hot springs.
And so,
Yeah,
of
right,
course,
before
Momo thinks he's
Okarun.
hostile, so she kicks him.
Because an alien's in the shrine, and that they know that's bad. That's happened before, so she kicks him. But also, he's CG animated. He looks like they pulled him out of Minecraft.
He's even got the pants and the shirt.
Yeah.
but like a snout and tentacles. Yeah, it's really fun. And then his whole thing is that he's
He's
speaking his
pissed.
own language where he says "tombs, tombs, tombs," and Beanie Weenie's like, oh, he's saying how happy he is to help you, and don't worry about kicking you in the face. But the guy's like beating a chair and like breaking stuff, and clearly just the most pissed off he's ever been in his life. And he has magic cubes that you can build anything with.
Yeah.
And they build a house out of it because
Which is, oh
it's
my
like
God,
clay.
that's Minecraft. Oh my
And
God, how did I
yeah,
not get that?
it's 100% Minecraft. And as soon as the house is built, he picks up a chair and throws it through the window. He's like, "That's him
Yes.
saying thank you." As Peony Weenie's like just moving the cubes over to fix it, but he clearly like hates everyone and is so mad. It's very funny.
This guy
I
was
actually
amazing.
I thought this solution, because the house keeps getting absolutely rocked and destroyed, and
Mm,
instead of just like, oh, next episode house is fixed and the next gag,
mm.
no, they went along with like they've got to put up cardboard because there's walls gone, and then at the end of this GG fight or Evil Eye fight, it literally destroys the ground, to the foundation. um this is a great solution for that happening over and over, because now that they have these cubes, if it gets destroyed again, they can just reform it. It's not
Yeah.
going to cost them anything.
Not only does it
Holy.
solve a problem they've built, but then it's paid off for future stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was worried that this was just going to be sort of an easy way to fix the house problem. If they didn't use it to pay off future stuff, I think I would have felt gypped by it
Hmm.
as a choice. But I have a different mild complaint. It's not a big complaint, but mild complaint is that holy crap, these nano blocks are powerful. Like this is ridiculous stuff. Seems
A
way overpowered.
way overpowered. Like, why is
Yeah,
not every alien using this for everything they do?
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good.
Yep.
Also, Gigi's parents then show up to rebuild the house for real, and the house is already there, and they're like, oh. And then we see that the mom is like doing Fast and the Furious driving while making Gigi run after the truck.
So he takes after his mom, and that's
Yeah.
how they keep him wild, crazy, and in shape.
Then we get the scene of Momo and Gigi going to school together, and all his girl fans show up, and they accidentally spill cold water on him, so he turns into Evil Eye, who just wreaks havoc for the day. Soccer, you see soccer field. I play soccer. Kicks the ball. Everyone goes into the goal like flying.
She can't find any hot food or drink to try and turn him back. I don't know why she doesn't go to like. There's got to be a bathroom sink with hot water. Take a little cuppy in there or something.
Because it's funny. Don't ruin this.
Yeah.
I know. It is funny though. I
Him
enjoyed it.
him being in class like, I want to draw too.
He just scribbles.
How do I eat into the freeze time? Just a all powerful 4-year-old god in a human body
I'll
trying
murder
to
you
behave.
all.
Yeah.
It's just something he says. That's like a new thing he says.
The middle of class, and she's like, "Oh no, it's his sense of humor. It's a joke. It's a joke we have."
Oh, what did he say? He says, I want to exterminate the human race. And the teacher's like, how do you do that? By killing everyone. There was a follow-up question. I can't remember it because it's been extra week, but it was very funny.
If
and
there
we're
was
sup-
someone we
also-
could blame for that, huh?
And then Momo gets a hot tip about the last golden ball, and it's been seen in an apartment. And then a new character appears, and the next episode starts with this new character. Hey guys, do you know what this guy's favorite anime is?
Gundam.
Gundam.
It's Gundam.
Yeah.
He's got a Gundam backpack. He's got Gundam shoes. He sings. It's not the Gundam sing thong. It's what's the bad guy from the original Gundam with the mask? Char. He sings Char's theme song. All that singing he does, it's Char's theme song from the original Gundam series. Like this guy is a Gundam head. And he has declared himself as Okarune's rival. We see flashbacks that he's been in the anime the whole time. This is the scene. There is a shot where it zooms in on a background character that was in the background shot, but it focuses on them like they were important. But because it zooms in and it was a background character, their faces are like messed up and badly drawn, but the anime doesn't care and zooms in on them anyway, and they look really stupid. And I'm like, that's brave. That's brave to call out, hey, you know how we don't spend time on these characters? What if they're important? That was very funny. So this is
Well,
this is
Tanya, since she went back and watched the first course, she told me that there was actually that scene where he walks up and talks to Okarun that day at the desk.
oh
And that's,
really?
yeah, like that scene happened where he walked up and talked to him and just said, like, you're my enemy or something like that. And then Okarun ignored him.
This is King Kinta. What do you guys think about Kinta?
Couldn't stand his character. Would have been better without him.
Ah, no, this character was amazing. It was
I hate
great.
everything about this character.
Oh, wiener. God. Okay.
We
this
already
guy's
have one.
great.
We already have one awkward, socially inept character. We don't need two.
Oh, yeah, but this guy shows how far Okarun has come. He also, because I mean, Okarun's hair is different too, right? Like he's
Okay,
changed since
I'll
the
give you
first-
this. If season 3 starts and he's just gone, he's not part of the group anymore, fine. But it seems like he's part of this
No.
group now.
I'll give
Yeah.
you this if this character doesn't exist. I'll like it.
Yeah. No.
I didn't say I'd like it. I said I'd tolerate it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
Even
like this
more.
character. I thought he was just he didn't add anything to it.
He added humor. I thought he also added a little bit of. I thought there was a bit of an overlap of scientific expertise and knowing about crypto stuff, but his wasn't so much crypto as it was just sci-fi, right? So there was a little bit of overlap, but they still have their lanes. Also, his imagination is super strong. Clearly, he's going to be a nanomachine guy. I don't know if there's going to be some other power he'll get, but that's a big one. I liked him a lot. I thought he was really funny the whole time.
Just like Ira is a opposite of Momo, and that's why she's there. She fills in a different role. This guy's very much an opposite of Okarun. Yes, they're both nerdy geeks, but Okarun is a complete introvert and tries to keep everything in, doesn't talk to anyone. This guy is like, wears it on his sleeve, is trying to come out of his shell. When he finally is talking to these characters, he starts bossing them around. He's the opposite of Okarun. He is the same cringy geek, but in an extroverted mode versus Okarun's introverted mode.
I think like you with the hand holding and having personal experience with that. I've had personal experience in middle school and high school with a couple guys that were like this. I couldn't stand any of them. I couldn't stand any of them. I wanted to be away from them. I wanted them to just go home, just like maybe transfer to another school.
But that's a realistic character then. Like there are clearly people like this, and obviously the other characters not fond of him.
No,
like,
they're not.
Iris is the best though. Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Over and over again.
That's pretty great.
He's there to be the butt of jokes. He's there to
Right.
fail and wonder why he doesn't fit in and why no one will accept him. And that is the part that's so funny.
And I have faith that Dan to Dan will also then provide some introspection and look into the character and do some stuff with it instead of just being a butt of jokes. But yes, at this point, he's
And then he's gonna find an evil spirit that wants to kill everyone, and then like they're gonna like make him a happy spirit, and the spirit's gonna merge with him, and then he's gonna get power-ups too.
He's gonna get an alien. We need an alien. We don't have enough alien stuff going on.
Sure.
And then they'll just go into the computer and like dodge bullets, I guess. You know, you can take any plot of any movie or of any story and just say it like it's bad, and it doesn't.
No,
mean
I
it's
just
bad.
I just don't like this character. He just cringed every scene he was in, and I just wanted him to not be there.
Why are you all using spicy talk? Why isn't it okay when I do spicy talk?
All right. So when he drops in the English dub, he says 10-gallon wiener. I didn't get at first why he would say that, and then I realized he thinks, oh, they're like talking about butts and balls and stuff.
Yeah.
I need to say something about butts
Yeah.
and balls too, and
That's exactly why he did it.
yeah. And it missed me at
Yep.
first. I'm like, why is that your intro? And then he keeps going on like this. I want to do spicy talk.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. That completely clicks why he made that choice. But yeah, a guy who is extroverted but also doesn't have the social skills to do it. Again, as a dichotomy to our Okaroon.
Mhm.
He is cringe. I want to see where they go with him. And he is funny. So I'm fine with him right now. All right. Let's bring this home. I should turn the page. That helps.
Maybe.
They go to the apartment to find the golden ball. He stalks them there. Then an invisible entity starts attacking them, attacks him. They start chasing it around this apartment building. It's super fast and they can't catch it because of the invisibility. He realizes it's optical camouflage, and they set up 3 different viewpoints of view. So the optical camouflage tweaks out, and they're able to see the spirit, or what they think is a spirit. Turns out not a spirit. This is an alien, and it looks like a little mini Godzilla, but with 2 horns on the side.
Okay, so
It's not Godzilla.
just real quick question for clarification, because it's going to change my opinion on this. Where is the ball on this invisible character? Is it inside? Is it in its mouth?
Yes.
Is it? It's inside.
It's in. It looked that when it materialized, it looked like it was inside in the head.
Okay, then I hate this scene. Optical camouflage is not going to then show the ball from the inside, because the optical camouflage is showing what's behind, not what's inside. This is dumb.
Well, the ball isn't visible to the eye; it's visible to spirit vision.
It was caught by a phone, though.
Well,
Otherwise,
sure,
I
but
agree
I
with
think
that.
I think these guys probably can see it even if it's hidden. They could probably see it through walls.
That was my take. They see the spirit energy through the optical illusion.
Yeah. Twist it however you want, Jeremy. Who's done?
I'm gonna. I mean, it's legally distinct Godzilla. What can you do wrong with that?
Also, another scene where they chose to go the funny route instead of the obvious route. This thing's incapacitated. It shows that it's basically, it almost looks like one of those blow up costumes. Okaroon could have easily turned on his powers for a moment, jumped down to it, and grab the ball like right then and there. But no, they decide, oh, we're gonna take the 40 floors down. How tall is this building? We're
not as tall as Godzilla.
Right? Yeah, and give this thing time to go into the next scene. I thought that was a choice.
Man.
I did wonder why they didn't immediately just deal with it. I thought they were taking it
right
casually.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a part of him. That's important. Why would you casually decide, okay, we're going to take our time here?
Yep. But this, to me, this is actually the start of what I thought was the weakest part of the second core. It's not enough to offset how great everything else was, and there's still a lot that I like about this, but it just didn't land the same with me. It felt a little off, a little bit lighter almost. Like not as dangerous, not as important.
I see
More
that.
comedy during the battle, I think, may have been part of what contributed to it. Because
This
there
is
usually isn't comedy in their battle. Sorry.
definitely a lot sillier than like the Evil Eye battle or Turbo
Mhm.
Granny, or even the rapey aliens.
Yeah. Or even if you go to season 1, you know, you've got Turbo Granny, you've got Nessie, you've got the sumo alien. None of those are comedic. I think this might be the first battle that was this comedic.
But look, I know that I like too many things. Whatever. Godzilla is on that list, though.
Yeah.
In the same anime as I've had a Back to the Future reference and Godzilla. Woo, I mean, good. Sorry. Again, I feel like that Dawn to Dawn, my favorite thing about it is I don't know where it's going from one moment to the next.
Mm.
I haven't looked ahead. I don't like. I did not see this coming. Are we fighting a ghost? Are we fighting an alien? I don't know. Oh my gosh, we got a freaking kaiju up in here.
Yeah.
I was so excited. Like, we're gonna do a kaiju arc. Yeah, it is presented as sillier, especially because of Kinta is a mostly comedic character, and he really makes things sillier as he goes from here. But I love being surprised. I love, like the last couple of animes, like, oh, this went to exactly where I thought it was going to go. It was fun along the way, or not, depending on it. But I don't know. No one saw the Hayashi band coming. There's no way you
No.
could have. I love that stuff.
So you
And
like
yes,
your expectations being subverted?
I like not having expectations.
There we go.
Always easy for them to be met then.
I can't form expectations if you constantly keep me second guessing. Like, oh, we're going this way with a Mongolian death worm, and now we have alien space kaijus.
Yeah.
So it's again not Godzilla, kind of Godzilla-ish.
I mean, he's even got the breath, and I swear there's a couple of times when the sound starts as Godzilla and then like goes off a little differently
He doesn't have Godzilla's breath. He has King Ghidorah's breath, just
because it's the yellow lightning breath.
yellow lightning breath. They gave,
And it comes from the horn.
and it comes from the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it turns into a giant kaiju and starts attacking them. And then Gigi and Ira show up, and they all kind of start working together. They're like, hey, let's go to the house. But then some of them are battling. I kind of was lost on what the plan was. They mostly are trying to get Kinta away, and that's Gigi's job. And then
I don't think
Kinta
they were coordinating going to the house. I think that they just wound up there.
Okay. Well, Momo at one point said, I'll see you all back at my house. And I thought they were all running. And then Ira's like, I'm going to fight it. And then also Momo was fighting it. But it's fine. It wasn't bad. I got confused because I'm a Baka. But they do a lot of cool fighting. And Ira keeps being like, I'm leading. Oh, I'm in danger. Momo and Okarun has to save her. And it keeps turning invisible whenever they get an advantage. And it's shooting lightning. Kinta brings out Evil Eye by accident, and the Evil Eye's like, it must be battle day. And he starts running towards the house. It's not Tuesday. And Kinta's like, wait, evil monster, you're supposed to take me home to the house. They get to the house. Everyone does eventually get to the house, and the kaiju's walking towards them. And they go inside, and Okarun gets the idea, wait, what if we use the nano skin cubes and form something big enough to fight it? And all they have to do is hold it and imagine something, and they can't think of anything. And so Kinta's
The house starts to
I've got
collapse.
this. Yeah, it's all getting all weird. Kinta's like, I've got this. I've always imagined this. And so he grabs it. But him and Momo are grabbing it, and she imagines something else. But
this is great foreshadowing from an earlier scene where when she picked up the block the first time, it turned into a little Buddhist statue in her hand. Yeah.
God, that's good. He's obviously thinking giant robots, thinking of Gundam, but the scene is, to me, Voltron, because Voltron does the thing where they have to go into the tubes, and it takes them to like far away from each other to get to their alliance. Like one goes under the ocean, one goes through the forest, that kind of thing. Okarun's journey is holding onto the toilet handle as it pulls him underwater for miles. He's holding his breath. Lands in the chair, gets air dried. Evil Eye is in one of the legs, and he's like, "Let me out of this prison!" But it's not a good robot because it's half Buddha, half Gundam, and it has like one of the Gundams like 3 wing back or whatever it is. Behind it, it has the glasses from Gurren Lagann on its face. And they don't know how to drive, and Okarun accidentally ejects, so they're like, everyone press a button at the same time, and Okarun ejects. Its arm falls off, but then Kinta realizes, oh, if it works on Robotech rules, you just imagine it working, and then it'll work. So he rebuilds the robot and starts fighting the kaiju with it. And then they get knocked down, and Evil Eye breaks out of the leg. I'm free! And then Godzilla steps on him. He's like, oh no, not again. And then he gets past Godzilla, and Okarun's like, Evil Eye, you gotta help me. He's like, no, it's not Tuesday. And then we get a big robot kaiju battle. The arms are from something else. It's got these big. It doesn't matter. There's so many references here. I
I had like a
recognize
big
some.
O feel from some of the design.
I even went. I googled Big O's arms because I'm like, is that Big O's arms?
Yeah.
It's not. It's another. There's another. There isn't a robot with a big flat wrist. Couldn't figure it out. A lot of references. Kinta has been training for high G combat by riding theme park rides, so he's fine. But everyone else inside the robot is throwing up and getting sick because of all the spinning. It's just a big robot fight, and then he wins, and they turn into a UFO and fly back to the house. It's like half house, half UFO with a robot arm dangling off of it.
Well, hang on. Before he wins, like there's a spot where he's actually losing a little bit, and the girls pitch in to help. And what they do with the robot body is
They can use his powers.
pretty crazy. Yeah, like they're using their powers to bind, and she gets like the crazy psionic arms and everything.
That's why the
Which is
nanocubes are so strong. Yeah.
yeah, it's just because it enhanced their own latent abilities. Like that's crazy. So pretty cool.
So Kaiju
Yeah,
shrinks to normal
everybody-
size.
shrinks to normal
Yep.
size.
And everybody can see and is like chasing them as they're they're chasing the boys as the boys run with the kaiju.
Right, because the aliens had the no one. This isn't really real field, and then it came down. Now there's a kaiju and a giant robot in the middle of the city. That's why they were turning into a spaceship to fly home. Okarun turns Evil Eye back into Gigi, and they carry the little mini Godzilla all the way back to the temple. There's a zipper on it. That's a great reference to the how they did those suits. And there's a alien girl, and then that alien girl wakes up and kisses Okarun, which I think is also a reference and not one I can remember. And then Momo, who's holding one of the cubes, her house explodes because she's holding one of the cubes when she sees this, and that's how the season ends.
Uh-huh.
I liked it.
So his golden ball wants back in.
And look, I was looking for the sunglasses on the robot the whole time, and as soon as they were there, I was like, yes, Gary Lockett.
Oh, they had to be there.
Had to be there. All right. That is done. We did it, guys. Ooh. Let's go to final review. Jeremy, you picked.
Oh, it's a 5. It's an easy 5. I'd give it more if I could. I really enjoyed it. Even with my minor complaints about the last fight and then just not being quite as enamored by the character development and story of Okarun, it was still so much more fun to watch than most of the anime that I've seen. And it's beautiful, drawn beautifully. So yeah, it's 5 out of 5 for me.
Jason, everyone's waiting with bated breath. Fingers on the keyboard to type their comments. Y'all get your fingers on those keyboards, okay?
Right.
Get ready to type whatever he reacts here to. What's your score, man?
Oh, well, I see Jeremy's right. Animation is beautiful. The combat scenes were fantastic. I do love the creative use of squat punches. That was pretty funny. And it's got some good comedic moments. However, I didn't find some of the characters compelling. I thought the romance scenes ended up dragging out really far and just, not to my taste. I can't stand that last character. I really wish he wasn't even in the show. There were some cringe and there were some great moments. So it's right down the middle for me. It's a 3.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over all the keyboards typing. 5 for me. This is one of the reasons I watch anime. You're doing things that you can't do anywhere else. You give yourself a reason to even do an adaptation of a manga, which is already a good manga because it's already balancing all these different genres so well. Not everyone as well as others, but still all good. Probably not the greatest anime of all time because it stands on the shoulders of a lot of giants before it, but it knows that and it respects that. It's got love for the where it came from the streets. I should stop. It's a 5. The few things I could see being people are really having complaints about, I said in the beginning.
What's that supposed to mean?
For me to dislike.
Feel targeted.
Well, I forgive you with my empathy, so
maybe you'll become good, Jason.
Right, someday.
Someday.
This feels like Space Dandy all over again.
Oh, that was good.
You hated Space Dandy much more.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
To Be Hero X is up next, so we'll see where we all land on that one. And everyone, be nice to Jason. Again, it is always hard to be in the minority seat on this podcast, and he has done a great job.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll take our turn.
Troy, edit that. All right, let's. Oh, if you have thoughts and comments on this anime we've watched, please feel free to reach out to our website, theanimebakaclub.com. Hit that contact us button. That is the best way to reach us and fastest way for me to get a reply back to you. It just works the best. Also, though, we are on Twitter, also known as X, at Baka Podcast. And you can reach us wherever you found the podcast, probably.
Did he just say that?
He said it.
He said the thing.
Feel
He's been
gross.
broken.
Just like Twitter. All right. That's all I have. Let's say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
This is a waste of time.
Sayonara.